Hey there, welcome to the Intelligent Founder podcast. We're here to chat with some super intelligent and savvy entrepreneurs and business leaders who have built amazing companies using their big brain and strategic thinking. Good morning, good evening. Today we meet an extraordinary entrepreneur, CEO and founder of the amazing startup Maolac, Maya Ashkenazi. Please meet Maya. Hello, Maya. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining my podcast. And today we will be happy to hear your story and to understand your business. And by the way, I forgot to mention that she's one of the more self-confident person I met before, I ever met, I would say, and she's raising money like this. Boom. So, Maya, tell us more about yourself and how things are going.
So first of all, thank you for giving me that opportunity to share my story through your platform and through your crowd. So I'm Maya, coming from a technical background. I have a first degree at Pharmaceutical engineering, second degree at Biomedical engineering, and so on from the Technion. And Maolac is actually not even my first startup or my first idea. I do believe that ideas, when they are coming to life, they can really change our world and the way we use technology and the way we think about technology. So bringing innovation is very important.
Oh, thank you, Maya, very much. By the way, I forgot to ask our audience to subscribe to my podcast and to put like if you like Maya, if you like your business. We're here for you, and we're here to teach you, and we're here to learn from Maya, her vision, and how to succeed in her journey, amazing journey. So Maya, tell us about your business, and maybe you can share your pitch deck, and we will discuss some details of your startup.
Okay, so maybe we will do it like a conversation, and if needed, if you would like, I can add some of the slides to make it more interactive.
I wish. Happy to make conversation around it. Yeah.
Okay, so with your permission, I would like to start with a nice story. A lot of us, when we think about food, we want to eat healthy. Everyone wants to eat healthy. Sometimes it's not tasty. Sometimes it is very expensive. And sometimes it is just out of reach because we need something fast. And did you ever thought about what is the gold standard of our nutrition? Did you ever thought that maybe there could be one substance that we would use and that will solve all of our problems and we could live happily ever after? Did you? Or you were?
I didn't. I know that if I eat something wrong, I feel very bad. I cannot walk, I cannot think, I cannot focus. And this is really disturbs me and bothered me very much. So I try to eat something good, and I would love to learn more about how to do it.
Exactly. So it's so important because we are what we eat. And I'm talking about a unique substance. I'm talking about breast milk. And this is very not something that everyone would look and think in that direction, because most of the time it has been correlated to babies, to baby foods and things like that. But if you will think about it, at a totally different way. We are taking a newborn that is coming out to life, not just humans. Think about mammals overall. And they need to get a certain food that will allow them to survive when they are most vulnerable. And not just to survive, but also to allow them to evolve and develop all of their biological system, from immunity, brain, digestive system, and literally everything. So that substance could not be just food or just food component, let's put it that way. And we know that in human biology, we have fats, we have sugars, carbs, and we have proteins. And we know that the proteins, they are, let's put it that way, they are the soldiers. They are the one to do a certain action. So if you would look at the profile of protein in breast milk for mammal, you are literally looking at nature gold standard for biological activities.
Wow.
And what we are doing in Maolac, we understand that this is nature, okay? And what we are doing, we try to find bioequivalent protein to the one that exists in our breast milk for different biological capabilities or metabolic cascade in different sources that exist in nature, whether they are coming from plants or from different side stream from the dairy industry, food industry, like colostrum and things like that. And we created an algorithm that allows us to control and calculate the percentage of biosimilarity between the protein we see in human breast milk, for example, that are suitable for a specific indication, inflammation, cognition, digestion, and then we try to find them in different sources, different raw material. But we are not just seeing them like a checklist, like they're here or not, like 1 or 0. No, we literally calculate the percentage of biosimilarity between the protein in the human body, in human biology, to the protein in the raw material, the suspected protein in the suspected raw material. We calculate the sequence, we calculate structure, and we calculate modification. All of that would give you a percentage of biosimilarity. The higher it will be, meaning that if we will produce that fraction, we will extract those proteins from that raw material, we can achieve a new protein compound for that specific health capability that would be much more effective than current solution that are available in the market. I would give you an example because it's easy. We realize that inflammation is a big deal. Systemic inflammation in these days, worldwide, different region, the way we eat, the way we think, the way we live, all of us suffer from inflammation. And the more we age, the more we tend to see that in mobility's problem, in pains, in joints, and things like that. So we asked our algorithm, please find us what are the main protein for inflammation that exists in human breast milk. What is the biological gold standard of nature? Then we wanted to find those proteins in alternative sources. And after finding them, we found them in colostrum, bovine colostrum, not the one that we bring to the young calf, but actually the colostrum, like the transitional milk, what the dairy industry could not use, and you still need to milk and throw it away. 5 billion liters a year or so is thrown away like that. So by doing that, we are taking someone else's side stream to create premium ingredients. Just for example, this is another thing we try to bring. So we found those 13 protein that has a very strong correlation for inflammation. And after calculating the percentage of biosimilarity, we realized that those proteins are 95% biosimilar to the anti-inflammatory protein in nature gold standard, our breast milk. And then we developed a production process that is mainly uses filtration techniques and chromatography techniques to extract and concentrate those proteins. Then we dry them out and we give them a unique delivery system in their powdered form to preserve their bioavailability and their functionality, so they will be stable in any end product, whether it's a food product like yogurts, beverage, or a bar, or in nutraceutical application like supplement, cosmetics, and things like that. We dry them, and there you have a new active ingredient. We call them BFPs, biofunctional proteins, that has a specific indication that is comparable to biological gold standard, which is the breast milk, that has been proven, or else you and I won't be here, in a way, and not just us, other mammals. And the future is going to be more functional. And Maolac is the company that puts the functionality at the forefront of impact nutrition. You will see our solution in the next years from now, that there would be something that the food companies, the nutraceutical companies will search on their own because they want to evolve and they want to find what is the 2.0 ingredient that could really bring an impact, and not just plant extract that you cannot quantify the active ingredient or say what is exactly the active ingredient and what is the exact biological cascade or mechanism it is working through. So this is what Maolac brings into the table. And right now this is not just a nice story. When I gave you the example of the Maolac anti-inflammatory compound, we have been testing it versus current main ingredient in that category. For example, curcumin, which is plant-based, number one plant-based for inflammation, and lactoferrin, number one ingredient for inflammation that is coming from the dairy industry. We are 3 times more effective than curcumin, 2.5 more effective than lactoferrin, and more than 10 times effective than the original raw material itself, which is the colostrum, as a raw material. So you can literally see in numbers how we can bring impact through those new ingredients. We have a production site in Israel. We have another site in the Netherlands. We are now entering to the nutraceutical market in North America. And if your audience would be there, we are going to attend Supply Side West. They are more than welcome to come to our booth. A lot of samples and cool stuff would be there.
Very, very much exciting, really. And my question about how do you quantify effectiveness of your product?
It's a good question.
Could you elaborate on it? Yeah.
We quantify effectiveness in models. Like we have ex vivo models, which we have performed on PBMCs. We extract them. Those are like the white blood cells. We extract them from blood samples from human donors, healthy donors, not something that you create, not cell lines that you created in a lab. So we take different biological markers. We do a test in the presence of different substances. Our inside, of course, different dosage because we want to see also dose response. Then we move forward to in vivo models. We look at the FDA to see in their pharmacopoeia and things like that, what are the relevant model for a specific cascade. For example, when we tested in mice the inflammatory product, the malolactin inflammation, and the model in mice was DTH, acute ear inflammation. It's well known even in the pharmaceutical industry. You have a protocol, you have positive control, negative control. and you need to see where you fall within this. And at the end, clinical trials, human clinical trials with a relevant statistical power versus placebo versus at least 2 dosages. We have questionnaires, we have biological markers that we are testing, literally everything. So whenever we bring a new product to market, it has to go through the entire process of validation.
Very interesting. And how do you define the raw material? Because a lot of raw materials, how do you know which raw materials is most effective to extract your company?
So in a way, this is like machine time, okay? When we create libraries for any raw material, we do not use things that are available online. We do the proteomic analysis, we create the library, and then we test it. So in order to see whether a certain library for a raw material is valid or not, we take it into the system and we run it through different filters. We want to see, we have a lot of filters. Some of the filters show you like whether that raw material, the active components that are relevant for a certain need, we have them in a certain quantity. Because if it's below a certain bar, so quantity, even if we will extract it at the high yield, won't be relevant. It won't be cost effective. So inside the system, we created different filters that will not even consider a certain library if it's not reaching to a certain bar.
Interesting. Just a little bit about vision. Is it possible at some point in the future to make some machine that will design or extract this specific component and protein from something from the list? For example, I have inflammation, I go out to the street, I take some...
In a way, what you are saying, you can come to the factory we built in Israel is quite automatic. So in a way, you can call those machine robots, and you can come at the beginning of the day when we start the process for the raw material, and then come back at the end of the day, and the robot created that product. So you can take it.
So it could be very much personalized and cheap finally. So I can do my own drug, personalized drug in a very, very way cheap. From raw materials I can find on the street, right?
That's the future. And I hope Maolac would get there, because right now we are like in the middle. We are like the protein intelligence company. We start from food, biotechnology, nutraceutical, and by time we would use that technology to come into the high ends of the industry.
My amazing story. Let's get to the business side, because finally we're talking about business and how we're going to make money. Could you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, of course. We are going to make money. The protein intelligence company, which is us, we are going to make money. We are not going to license the algorithm. We are not going to help others to use it. No, we are not an application company or a tech company. We are an ingredient company. We are producing the ingredient and we sell them as bulk. We create money by that. Nevertheless, brand companies or gigantic ingredient companies can come to us and says, we had a market research and we saw that there is an enormous need for, I don't know, a product that will enhance cognition and can be incorporated into tea. I don't know. For example, okay? They are coming to us and they say, please take that as a project, use your machine, show us results, do preclinical. If you are going to a stage that you are succeeding, in all the KPIs we created at the beginning. We are moving to the second stage, a commercial agreement with you guys, where we will be your client. We will sign a certain exclusivity, but we are committed to buy high quantities of that ingredient for a period of time in a specific market, in a specific, like the tea sector in, I don't know, Indonesia, for example, something like that. And then we have a business. And then we use the technology. We can create for them something that would be game changer in their sector, and then could really bring the uniqueness versus other teas in the market, for example, can bring them that edge, take them to the premium prices and things like that. And on the other hand, we are the one to exclusively produce that and supply that to them. They cannot use the knowledge that we are sharing from the algorithm to produce with a third party or something like that. It's like a package. So whether we are doing something all the way with the customer or, like I mentioned, inflammation and digestion, Maolac saw that there is an enormous need in the market. So we developed those ingredients on our own. And now we are looking for partners and clients, as I mentioned, in North America to take those hero ingredients to expand their brands.
And do you have some preliminary partners? You said you have some plant in Netherlands, in Israel. So what happens today? Some big companies just jump on this board. So where you are?
You have to understand that big companies, a lot of startups see the big company as their end goal. No, your goal is to start selling, getting into the market, create traction, and then you would be attractive to them. And this is exactly the way me and my team see Maolac in the future. Right now, we are focusing on finding the right partners in the right markets. And this is why we are starting with North America, even though we do have signed agreement with other partners from the dairy industry and also supplement industries in Israel, in Europe, and in Asia. But we create a pipeline that is can be manageable in parallel to start creating a certain revenues, build a name, build a branded ingredient, because we are B2B, but a branded ingredient. And then we do believe that those ingredient companies, the big one, if they will see that we were able to build the demand bottom up, now it's interesting. If we will come to them right now, we might be in a situation that their competitor, other ingredient companies, would bend us in a way. So in our perspective, there is a time for everything. And right now, we need to build a market. We need to bring the demand. After several years, like 2 to 3 years of selling, then trying to partners, whether they are ingredient companies or brand companies, I don't know. And because Maolac is not one trick pony, we don't have in our portfolio one ingredient. We are going to expand it while taking to market each time a new ingredient that is that is going with a certain global trend or a global need, something like that. For we are going to work in parallel, simultaneously, and hopefully that in 2 to 3 years, the big corporate will see that and they will understand we need it. And if we don't need it, we need to put our hand so our competitors won't put their hand on that. So both scenarios are fine in a way. And we need to understand that is how the business is working.
Amazing. I like your confidence in your go-to-market strategy. If you're confident, if you believe, it should work.
Hopefully.
So, what about capital? When a company was launched, established?
The beginning of 21.
February 21. February 21. And was it result of your PhD study?
Sorry?
What is the result of your PhD study?
No. It was the result of me becoming a mother.
Wow. Okay, I got it. I understand. And so how much did you raise so far?
Up until now, Maolac has raised $8.5 million.
8.5 million. Amazing. Very nice. And your go-to-market strategy implies the specific launch date. What do you expect? When it will happen?
So right now in North America, we already have some partners, and we are going to meet them again face-to-face at Supply Side West, and to meet some new faces, share with them samples, share with them like formal information and things like that. And they can meet us. They can meet the business unit, the market unit, and the R&D unit. And they can ask us questions face-to-face regarding their brands, their needs. This is why Supply Side West is globally known. And being there is a statement. And we want our customers or potential customer to feel secure and to feel confident that even though we are at a different continent, we are here for them to succeed with our ingredient inside. So hopefully that will come to launching product in the US by mid-24.
Wow. So just for a couple of years, you had an amazing journey, and you're almost, because year to market from now, that's not a long time. So it's you have to do a lot. You have to do a lot to be in time when you're going to launch a product. So that's amazing. And we're going to wrap up our amazing conversation. By the way, I can tell you, I heard your presentation using pitch deck, and really, when you're talking really without attachment to pitch deck, it's much better, much more convincing, and it delivers some wow effect. This is my feeling.
Thank you, Leon.
By the end, could you share something with your peers, entrepreneurs? I mean, from your experience, give some advice to entrepreneurs how it's better to start company and to make such a huge leap just for a couple of years.
I'm always saying I'm not the one to give advices because I'm in the process. Let's put it that way. In order to give advice, you need to be and to see things from another perspective. So my advice, don't get advices. Do the job.
Oh, okay.
Do the
That's
job.
right.
Think about it later.
And be confident in what you are doing.
That's
important.
your editing. You have enough
My
reason
editing.
to say it.
Yeah, this is my editing. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Leon.
My guest is Maya Ashkenazi, founder and CEO of Maolac. She is a mother, she is an entrepreneur, she is a very self-confident person, and she created something new that, based on her vision, and I really share it, could come to all families and enable to create personalized drugs on demand. Maya, thank you very much.
Thank you,
And I
Leon.
hope we continue our conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.